This is Shea Stadium, the busy, big home of the New York Mets. And this film is the continuing story of the people who come here, both fans and players, the stars, past and present, but especially the promising youngsters who find here an expressway to the big leagues.
Yes, this is Shea Stadium. And no film about the Mets, the amazing Mets, could be complete without a salute to its loyal and wonderful fans. No ball club that ever existed had such supporters as these. And despite the size of New York City, no other club in America has the same warm rapport between fan and player. Of both sexes and all ages, Met fans are in a class by themselves. And this is a film about moments. Like an early summer's day when Swoboda leaned into a high fastball and belted it to the opposite field. Ron goes all out and slides in with a triple. The Mets were always in there trying. And with nearly 60,000 fans yelling their heads off, Swoboda comes home to score. And Johnny Lewis comes racing all the way from first base. Johnny slides, but he's ruled out at the plate. Out? Yes, out. And out comes Casey Stengel, one of baseball's immortals, and the man who worked so hard to get the new franchise off the ground. Casey at the plate. To the uppermost tier. Casey did so much to make the Mets America's favorite ball club. Casey Stengel, a man of infinite baseball savvy and a man of infinite personal appeal. Case tried with some of the old favorites. Richie Ashburn, now a radio announcer. New Yorkers will never forget big number 14. Gil Hodges, now a big league manager with the Washington Senators. And familiar number 8, Yogi Berra, who gave the old man the last bit of baseball left in him. And Case tried with Warren Spahn, greatest left-hander of all time.
Then one day, the great man had a great fall. They had a birthday party for Case who couldn't make it. But the fans did. And the chairman of the board, M. Donald Grant, leads the tribute.
On behalf of the greatest baseball fans in the world, Casey, come back soon. Thank you. And now to conclude this part of the program, speaking in Casey's behalf, is Coach Wes Westrum. We want to say thanks to everyone, and I know nothing would be more appropriate to win this next ball game for them, so we'll be out there trying. Godspeed recovery.
Casey Stengel did not come back, and one historic morning, he turned in his uniform number 37, and an era came to an end. Met President George Weiss, long Casey's comrade in arms, accepted the end with sadness. As did Casey's devoted wife, Edna. We'll miss you, Casey, every one of us.
And now there's a new Met era. Wes Westrum, handpicked by Casey Stengel to fill in for him, took over. And his fine work for the remainder of the season won him reappointment as Met manager for 1966. I have certain ideas about this club, Wes Westrum has said. I like to bunt early. I want to get a run early. I want to force the other team into making mistakes. Get out in front. That makes them play your type of game. Now they must catch you. This is what I want from the Mets.
Old era or new era, one thing remains constant, the promise of rapid advancement. If you have the talent, and if you're willing to work at it, the road to stardom is an expressway in New York. Ed Kranepool with Mays and Koufax in the All-Star game is a case in point. Ed is 21 years old. In little more than 3 years, he's gone from a high school field to the Major League All-Star game in Minneapolis. Here, Ed really tags one against Cincinnati. In slow motion, the ball soars high and far, and Frank Robinson just watches it sail over the fence. Kranepool has the talent and the desire. He needed the opportunity, and the Mets provided it. Watch him move into the hole and make the play at first base. Repaying the Mets for that opportunity, Kranepool's play at his position proves his worth. That's Ed on a bicycle and making the catch. Another meteoric rise, another success story belongs to Ron Swoboda. Ron muscled his way into the hearts of the new breed with his show of hitting power. It's gone, man, gone. Swoboda picked on the all-rookie team. Yes, Ron could really swing that bat, but there were little things he did that made him human, too. These are also incidents in the life of rugged, robust Ron. There were times when robust Ronnie tried too hard. It's a good thing that McMillan keeps his eye on the ball. But don't get us wrong, we know what Ron can do. Watch that magnificent stabbing catch. Another example, with a man on second, watch Ron handle this one. He takes it on a bounce and fires a perfect strike to Canizaro for the out at home. Ron again, going back on the ball this time. Ready. Yes, Ron Swoboda has gained the respect of the opposition and the love of every Met fan. And here's number 24, Johnny Lewis, another fast-rising Met and a familiar figure in the Met outfield. Johnny led the club in outfield assists. He's got a strong and deadly right arm. Watch that distant baseline. Johnny has legs to match the speed of his arm. He's safe. And here's Johnny at the plate, a man who has the tools to do it all. A deadly shot over the center field wall. A home run by Johnny Lewis.
Even a young team needs an experienced head here and there. Roy McMillan supplies one of the best in baseball. That's him covering second base and making the tag. Roy has the hands to match his head. And on that double play, who's afraid of those big sharp spikes? Not Roy McMillan. Joining the Mets on the left side this year will be something new. New to the Mets, that is. To Met fans, Ken Boyer, erstwhile Cardinal, was a familiar pain in the neck for years. Ken's a throwback to the rugged gas house types. Boyer's a man who really guards that hot corner. Watch him on this rundown.
Ken Boyer will be a big help to the young pitchers like Tug McGraw, a lefty with a lightning-fast pickoff throw. He can fool the best of them, including Maury Wills. Too bad, Maury. A competitive, alert young pitcher, McGraw came on strong late last season. Watch him as the end man of a difficult double play. Scrappy Tug McGraw. Darrell Sullivan, who proved that he can start and relieve effectively. Here, Darrell wins a big one in Houston. Happiness for the Mets in the Astrodome. And youngster Dick Selma, who is already riding the Expressway in the big leagues. He did it by striking out 13 Braves in one game. Staring at him is Roberto Clemente, the league's leading hitter. And he's still staring on that final out. And Met pitchers will be throwing to Greg Goosen, who was 19 years old when he caught at Shea Stadium last season. How do you get that big at 19? Another fine young Met catcher is Johnny Stevenson. Watch him throw out Willie Mays. Johnny won a couple of games with his bat and was an aggressive runner on the base paths. He's safe.
It is ironic that many of the Mets began here. No, the Mets don't have a farm club in the Little League. They don't start them quite that young, but they do have an Eastern League farm club at Williamsport, Pennsylvania. There's Les Rohr, the Mets' #1 draft pick in the first free agent draft in baseball history. Especially interested in this young man are Bing Devine and Eddie Stanky of the Mets front office. That's Rohr on the mound, pitching 5 innings of shutout ball in his debut. Manager Westrum, winning friends in Williamsport. And tips to a youngster from Met Veep Johnny Murphy. Close-up now of outfielder Al Yates. And infielder Jim Lappy, up-and-comers from the Williamsport Mets. Hank and Tug McGraw could be a brother battery in New York someday. Sean Fitzmaurice, another fine outfielder from the farm system. That's Sean at the plate. The former Notre Dame star delivers a double. Al Yates, a promising young slugger. It's in there for a single in this exhibition game, and it drives in Fitzmaurice easily. Tug McGraw faces his brother Hank here. And what happens to Tug shouldn't really happen to brothers. Another double to drive in Yates. The kids are pushing their way up.
A year and a half after the Mets picked Ron Hunt out of the minors, he was a full-fledged star. His opponents elected him the All-Star second baseman. Number 33, Ron Hunt is another one of the Mets standouts. In the clutch, you can count on Ron. Watch him now filling in at third. Quite a man. Or quite a youngster, Ron Hunt. This is Sandy Koufax. He is not a Met. This is Willie Mays. He is not a Met. This is Maury Wills. He is not a Met either, alas. When you are 4 years old, as the Mets are, there are some things you cannot have yet. One of these is the superstar, but he will come another day. Meanwhile, the new breed sees the National League superstars of the present, and because they are baseball fans, they appreciate the greatness of such performers as a Maury Wills. This man is a positive genius at moving around those bases. We see him in slow motion outwitting the opposition. But even the best get caught sometimes. Another great one. Sandy Koufax, winner of the Cy Young Award for the second time in 3 years. Sandy pitched his 4th no-hitter last season, and a perfect game at that. There's the form for a record-breaking 382 strikeouts. There's Willie Mays. Willie leads all active players in home runs. He's 1965's most valuable player. And this is the one at Shea Stadium when he surpassed Lou Gehrig's total of 493. In a league by himself, the incomparable Willie Mays. Darren Johnson of the Reds, who led the league in runs batted in with 130. Ernie Banks of the Cubs. Ernie has more than 400 homers in his career to place him 4th among active players in the all-time home run derby.
Jim Thompson, with George Weiss, works hard to make the Mets a thing apart. Shea Stadium is a good time. Fans have come to know that. It's a ball game plus date night. It's variety night. It's musical depreciation night. It's Elsie, the Borden Cow night with Mr. Met. There's Yogi making a presentation to Lucky Elsie, who will move for the Mets. Shea Stadium is Cap Day, too. Last day of the season. And every youngster had it up. And this is one where the new breed really showed their ingenuity. Banner Day. Over 2,000 banners strong. To err is human. To forgive is a Mets fan. And that one a winner. And the players show their appreciation, too. 100 feet of solid sentiment. From all of us, and Casey, too, we really think the world of you. Always good for a laugh is Family Day, when the children of the Met players come out to show their stuff. That's Roy McMillan with his daughter. In this outing, the sisters cheer their brothers. That's with a long way to first base. And look at this slide home.
And Old Timers Day, a day for kids who've grown a bit older, like Johnny Mize, High Pockets Kelly, Dolph Camilli posing with Ed Kranepool, Sal La Barba Magley. Man, what memories these great old-timers stir. The indomitable Campanella, the great Campy. And there's Campanella's old buddy, Big Don Newcomb. Nuke can still hit that ball. He takes another base on the throw-in. Say, isn't that Carl Furillo crossing the plate? Eddie Stanky, now with the Met brass, can wallop that ball, too. Over the head of Monty Irvin. It's good enough to make a stand-up double out of a triple. The fans love every bit of it, including the finale by that clown prince of baseball, Al Shack. Yes, sir, that's just the way the ball went.
Our Mets repay their admirers by going to see them. Here at Patchogue, New York, the arrival of the Mets Hot Stove League Special brings out 3,000 fans. Dennis Rybat, Danny Napoleon, Ken Boyer, Eddie Kranepool, Jack Fisher, and Johnny Lewis represent the New York club on this Long Island swing. This way, both fans and stars just plain get better acquainted. The Diamond Girls help distribute souvenir Mets caps, pens, and pictures. It's a treat for ball players and Met followers alike. And the newest Met, Ken Boyer, already feels at home. Ball players go sightseeing, too. In Houston, they see the wonders of the Dome Ballpark. The Houston Astrodome. And the strange Earth people who take care of it. The Astrodome's electronic cheerleader gets a lot of attention, too. But there's no doubt who they're supporting. 200 Met fans clear from New York. Coast to coast and overseas, folks follow the Mets in print and over the air. There's something about the new breed that's captured the public's eye. And here are the Mets in the Astrodome. Ron Hunt squeezes home the tie-breaking run in the 10th inning. A victory over Houston. Historic, romantic San Francisco, the home of the Giants. And at Candlestick Park, we see some of our Mets and their opposition renew old acquaintances. Willie Mays and Chuck Hiller at ex-Giant. There's Willie McCovey and Juan Marichal looking on. And many a crowd in sunny California has seen our Mets in action. In a close ball game, speed often tells the story. Especially when you have an old pro like Roy McMillan to deliver the clutch hit. Number 24, Johnny Lewis hitting. And number 24, Willie Mays catching. Ball players know the charm of Hollywood. Ron Swoboda and Tug McGraw discover something else on the Bonanza lot. Some fairly famous cowboys happen to be fans of theirs. Lorne Greene and his boys all love baseball. Better watch that six-shooter, Ron. The most amazing things happen to the Mets. There's Ron Swoboda facing Koufax. And there's a clean belt all the way for a home run. Ron's a great Met star on his way.
But what about the Mets of tomorrow? Developing youngsters is a year-round job. It goes on in Florida soon after the regular season ends. Here in the Instructional League, the future Mets receive special help from Eddie Stanky and other experts. Number 10 is Kevin Collins, a future hopeful. Clyde McCullough leads Jack Tracy in some infield practice. Jack Hamilton, a right-hand pitcher, acquired from Detroit. Jerry Hensley on the left. And Rob Gardner, who wound up last season with a spectacular performance of 15 scoreless innings on the right. Instruction and practice. Practice and instruction. This is what it takes to hasten their rise to the big leagues.
For the Mets, the rise can be a fast one. For in bringing exciting big league baseball to New York, they also bring a talented newcomer the attention he never could get anywhere else. Scintillating plays like these made it a record year at Shea Stadium. The crowds totaled close to 2 million, and the fans saw games and plays they'll never forget. On with the Mets. Someday at Shea, there'll be a World Series, and that superstar to lead them there. Who will that superstar be? A youngster now playing? Or is he you, young fella, watching this movie? Who knows? But it can happen with the Mets, the Expressway to the big leagues.